Welcome back to the always on tutorial. So on this video I'll configure the domain controller. If you watch my video, so from our previous video I created 4 VM including the domain controllers server 1, server 2 and server 3. So we are done with the steps 1 and now we need to configure the domain controller. So there are a couple of steps. I'll go all of these steps one by one. So let's begin with the turn up IE enhanced security. To do that, go to the Windows menu from your domain controller. So if you see here, I'm on domain controller machine. Click on Windows menu, server manager. Okay, it will open the server manager. From there, go to the local server and then wait for a second. If you see here the IE enhanced security configuration, that is currently on, so we need to turn this off. Select off. Okay, so that is off. And one other thing I want to do here, I want to prevent the auto start of server manager. So to do that, go to manage server properties, and it is already checked. If it is not checked on your machine, check this do not start server manager automatically at logon and then click OK. Alright, so we are done with this, and next step I will disable the firewall. So actually on a production environment this is not a good idea to disable the firewall. You need to configure the firewall, but on this my tutorial purpose I will disable the firewall, so it wouldn't be big deal here, but on the production you should not do this. On production you need to follow the rules and you need to configure the firewall according to the firewall policy. So to disable the firewall, I'll go to the firewall, Windows Defender firewall, and it is currently on. So the purpose of turn off the firewall on later on when you configure the server 1, 2 and 3, we need to connect this server with the domain controller. So sometimes the firewall prevent to connect the server with the domain controller without the proper configuration. To avoid that, we are going to turn off the firewall. But again, on production you need to configure the firewall with appropriate IP address and the policy. But here I'm just going to turn off. Okay, so this is off. Let's close it. We're done here. And the next step is to change the computer name. So how we can do that? There's a couple of ways, but the easy way, click on the folder, this PC, right click, properties, and you can see the current computer name is WINZDM90CTAKUZ. So change the settings and change it from here. Okay, I'll give you a new name. So let's give the WinServe DC. So this is the domain controller. You can give any name you want, so that's not a big deal. You can do that. Click OK. Alright, is asking to restart your computer to apply these changes. Okay, we'll do that. Close, restart now. So it will take few seconds to restart. Okay, so the VM restarted. Let's right click, put the password. Okay, all right, so let's check the name changes or not. So right click this PC, properties. Okay, so if you see here, the computer name is Windows Server DC. Okay, so that's done. Now let's see the steps. So we are done with these four. Now we'll install Active Directory domain services and promote this machine to the domain controller. Okay, so let's do that. So click on the Windows key, Server Manager. Okay, add role and features. So it will open an wizard. Let's click next. We'll do the role based role based or feature based installation. Next. So it is automatically taking the IP address and the computer name here. That's good. Click next. Okay, and now we'll do Active Directory, or let's okay, let's do this. Cancel. Next. Okay, so we'll do Active Directory here, add feature, and also go next. We'll do .NET Framework 3.5. We'll do both together, so we don't need to do it on separately. Click next. Next. Restart the destination server if needed. Yes, let's do that. Install. Okay, so it will take from few minutes to install this feature on this machine. So I'll pause the video. Alright, so it's installed. It took around like 5 minutes. So here's a quick note. Let me show you here from the server manager. Let me open a new server manager. Okay, let's bring this up. Let's minimize this one. So when you click add role and feature, next, 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 from here just select the Active Directory domain services. When you go here, you don't need to select the .NET Framework 3.5 because .NET Framework 4.7 is already installed. So you don't need to do that. If you do that, you will get the error, and if you get the error, just close it, come back, and just install the Active Directory domain services. Okay, So let's go back again. So the feature is installed. Now what we want to do, we want to promote this server to a domain controller. So we can do it from here. Promote this server to domain controller. And the one thing is, like, if you don't see this thing here, it will show up here on the manage. It will show a triangle. You can do it from there. So instead of doing this, let's do it from here. Promote. Okay, so here there's a few options. Add domain controller to an existing domain, we don't have it. Add a new domain to an existing forest, we don't have the forest. So what we'll do, we'll add a new forest. So to give you the quick explanation, so this is a forest and this machine kind of a tree in the forest. So we can give any name for this forest, and later on we have to add the other server under this domain name forest. So let's just give the name easyway.com. It should be a root domain name. Click next. It will ask the password. So you can provide the password, whatever password you want. I'll give you a simple password. Click next. Zone cannot be found. Delegation. So it will give you a warning. Delegation for this DNS server cannot be created because of the authoritative parent zone cannot be found. Ignore this message. Click next. So the name of the forest, the netbus domain name will be pop up here, and it should be easyway. Click next. Okay, so it will automatically create this location. Next. So here is the summary. You can review this summary scrolling down. All of the information are here. I'm not going to do that. If you want to make the script, you can do it from here, view script, but this is not necessary for this video. Click next. All right, it is giving some error, so let's check the error. Okay, this is good that this error showed up here. So what does it saying? The password of the machine is not strong enough to create this forest. Okay, so if you see here, verification of the prerequisite for the domain controller promotion failed. The local administrative account become the domain controller cannot administrator account when you create a new domain. So that means we have to create a strong password. Okay, so let's do that. To do that, go to control panel, and user account, go to user account. So what we need to do, we need to change this user account password. So I set it up a weak password that is not matching the criteria of creating forest. So as another account, I don't have any other account, so this on change password, so it should be at least 8 character, upper and lower case, and a symbol. So let's do that. Okay, it should be the old password. Okay, new password. Alright, if you want to type a password here, you can do that, like alright, just a password hint, change password. Alright, it's done. Okay, so let's close it, go back one step here. Okay, it's in the next. Okay, so it's still showing there is a problem, so probably it will require a reboot. So let's cancel this and I'll reboot the machine and I'll come back here again. Alright, so I reboot the machine. Let's log on again on this machine. So I'm logging on this machine with the new password. Now go to the server manager again, ignore this message, and now do you remember I told if you forget or anything happen to promote this machine as a domain controller? So this is the triangle signs. If we click here and you'll see the same message, promote the server to a domain controller. So let's do that. So it's going to be a little bit repetitive, and put the domain controller name. You can put whatever name you want. I'll put easyway.com. Okay, and okay, my bad, it should be here. Add a new forest, easyway.com, click next. So I'll put the password again. Click next, ignore this message. So the netbus name will pop up here. It should be easy way. If everything goes well, it will take like few moments. Okay, it is here, that means everything looks good. Let's move forward, so it will create it automatically. Next, next. Okay, seems the issue did not fixed and it is showing the another issue. Okay, so let's check this issue, whatever it's saying. Okay, it did apparently work, but it wasn't only the password issue. Let me show you what I did to fix the issue. Okay, so let me minimize this on. Okay, so I had to run a piece of command to fix the issue. So from the Windows PowerShell, I had to run net user administrator slash password request colon yes. Okay, so uh, you can open this Windows PowerShell here, just typing the POWER PowerShell, and from here run it Windows PowerShell ISE. Okay, then it will open the window this on and you can run the command. So that solved the issue. So let's continue. So it is giving some warning. Let's see. Okay, and this one is we did not set up the static IP address, so on later on we will set up the static IP address. Okay, just install now. It will take few minutes and I'll pause the video and I'll continue with this. Okay, so the server restarted and the installation completed successfully. So let's check our domain from here. Sorry, go to this PC, right click, properties, and if you see here, our domain is now easyware.com and the full computer name WinServDC at easyware.com and computer name is Windows Server. So far we completed a couple of steps. We completed install Active Directory. Now we need to create a new user and login, and then we need to assign the static IP address. Okay, so we'll continue this on next video.